Thank you for joining me as we x-ray political intrigues on the 2023 elections coming up and the gale of defection. But before that, we're also going to be looking at governance and insecurity, the whole spate of insecurity in the country, and the need for the government to rise against that challenge, to tackle it headlong. And just recently, the UAE plans to place 6 Nigerians on the terror list. And again, we have the federal government also saying that it's not interested in naming or shaming alleged sponsors of the terrorism act, but only interested in tackling it headlong, in bringing corporates to book. We'll be discussing this, and joining me is a seasoned analyst, articulate public affairs analyst, and a clergyman, and he is the Bishop of Sword of Liberation Bible Church, Bishop Austin Igbasan. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. Good morning, viewers.
Okay, let me start off on the note where the federal government did say that it's not interested in naming or shaming alleged sponsors of terrorism. What do you make of this development?
I think it is not a good. It's not a good development for us as a nation, because going by the antecedent of the federal government, you remember that for a very long time they told us, oh, they are with the list of corrupt people and they are going to show us. And I think 6 years is gone now. We have not seen the name of one person. If you take your mind back, you know, the federal government have told us we are with the list. We are going to release it soon. Well, and the soon has never been soon. Up to date, you told us we are recovering. And I think one of the best way you can deal with this kind of thing is that, number one, the identity of such individual must not be hidden. The identity of those who are doing this must not be hidden. People are dying by the day, and we cannot decide to begin to place value on people that did not place value, that are problem and they are security breach to our nation. I think that it is sentimental, because if you look at the way the federal government is handling it, it's like you are striking a snake, you are striking the ground. You want to kill snake, and you see the snake that you want to kill, and you are striking the snake and striking the ground. You are striking the snake and striking the ground. It's a parable in my place that when you strike the ground and strike the snake, you are giving a kind of leeway for the snake to escape. Because those people that we were told that they are corrupt people, these are the corrupt people that are looting the nation. Up to today, we have not been given the list. Nobody have mentioned their name, and we have been given promise by this federal government for a very long time. The list is going to come out, and up to now, the list has not come out. And also, how much was recovered, at least giving us, because democracy is about the government of the people, making the people to be aware. It is all about the people. It's not, the leadership is about the people, and the people is the center of democracy. But if you look back, you discover that we have not been carried along. We're not told the people that are looters, their lists were not given. The amount of money that they recover was not, we were not told. And up to now, everything is shielded in secrecy. And I think that for a government or a nation that have lost more than how many thousands of people in the hand of some persons, and we are now saying other nation, it's a failure of the government, because for United Arab Emirates to be the one giving us the list or showing us that these are the men that we have discovered that are sponsoring terrorism, number one, is a systemic failure. It's a sign that we as a secular state, we have failed. Because if the government is sincere, the same way the Central Bank of Nigeria was able to track the account of people that sponsor NSAS, a noble protest, if it does not take the central bank for 24 hours to be able to nip in the bud the account of those who fund that noble cause, why is it that up to now our nation have not been able to discover? For another nation to discover for us is a sign of a weak system, that we have failed as a nation. And now those nations that told us and gave us the name of the people, and we decided on our own now that we are not going to shame them. We have to package them. We have to give them a soft landing. How do you now deal with the insecurity?
Okay, but if we look at it critically, exactly what the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, did say, it's not really giving them a soft landing. But he's saying that they will go it all, they will take the whole mile to ensure that they are not left alone, but they are brought to book. To ensure that they are brought to book. So if you look at it, does it not mean that it's better to bring them to book rather than to name them on the pages of the newspapers?
You know, one of those things that we have discovered about the government is that the federal government is insincere about fighting this issue of insecurity. They are insincere because if they are sincere, now you want to stop an act and somebody elsewhere helped you to be able to say, look at that man is the one that is sponsoring what is happening in your house. You want to stop it now. You are telling me now that, oh, I'm not going to take the man to police station. I'm not going to let the people. One of the ways by which you can stop even stealing in those days in the village is that anybody that steals, the person is not shielded, the person is not protected, and you make sure that everybody knows the person that steals in the village. That one is one of the best way to stop the person from doing it again.
Okay.
You want to tell me that you want to put them through one process. The looters till date now, how many of the looters that they have not shown us their name that they promised us?
Okay, I'll be continuing you on this after this break, as we're going to be taking a short break. Do stay tuned. Thank you for still joining me on Governance and Insecurity, as I have the Bishop Austin Igbasan on the floor. Let's continue from where
Yes, I said we were told that some people are looters.
Yeah.
And we were told of a looters list. And up to now, we were told that the looters list is going to be published. The same Lai Mohammed was the one that addressed us then, that the list will soon be out. They are working on it. The list is ready. And up to now, maybe the list will be published after the 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari. Maybe that is when the list is going to come out. But I tell you that, how do we shame? They promise us they're going to shame the looters. Up to today, no single person was brought out. No list was shown to Nigeria. And we were not told how much was looted, how much was brought back by who. Where is the money that was looted when they brought the money back? Has it been relooted or it has been kept somewhere? What was the money used for? Everything was done in secrecy. And I say this one to you. Consider the 6 persons that were brought out by United Arab Emirates. Where do they come from this part of the country? Today, as we talk about nepotism, as we talk about security architecture today, that come from one side of Nigeria, I tell you, Philip, if those people that were mentioned happens to be from one religion and come from one part of Nigeria that is disadvantaged, I tell you that they won't tell us what they are telling us now. If a man's house is on fire and the man that put fire in your house was identified by your neighbor and you now said it is not a problem, you are going to do it in a very soft way. It is not about bringing that person out and tell the whole village that, oh, look at the guy that committed the arsonist. This is the arsonist. He's the one that put fire in my house, so you be careful of him. How do we as a nation be able to know that the government is sincere? That doesn't mean that the 6 people, they are more important than the number of lives that is being wasted on a daily basis. It's an insincerity on the side of government. Government themselves, they have failed. They have failed in the sense that they were not able to track the sponsors. And other persons have to, other nation, a sister nation, have to track for us.
Okay, but don't you think
our response to it...
But don't you think you are being presumptive by saying that the government has failed? Because the government is still on track, ensuring that it fights these issues of insecurity. And as we speak, the president is in New York, and he is going to be addressing the General Assembly of the United Nations. Don't you think all of these issues will also be addressed at that point?
The president can be in Irua. It's not an issue. That the president is in New York is It's not a testimony for people like us, because we already knew what will come out of the New York discussion and all the rest of them, because we are used to it. So it can be in Europe, it can be in Europe. It's not something we should clap for, because this government is a government that is deceptive, and it's a government that is talking.
You can't say the government is deceptive, please.
How do you protect a man that is destroying your people? How do you protect the identity of a man that destroys your own government?
No, you can't say that. You can't say that.
What I'm saying is that the 6 people we are talking about, are they packaging our nation? Are they building our nation? Are they raising lives?
Don't forget I asked you a question earlier. Is it more important to name the sponsors or to really prosecute them? Because the government is saying that it's not just interested in naming, but it's interested in prosecuting them, which means the government is ready to go that mile.
What I'm saying is that is the identity of those people more important than our nation? Now, do you tell somebody that lost his father in the course of this insecurity, you will not tell him that the man that was instrumental to the death of his father and mother and his siblings, the government is not interested in shaming the man? That the government is only interested in putting a case that will not see the light of the day in the next 10 years. Now, you don't want that young man not to become a terrorist tomorrow? You don't want that young girl to become somebody that will go into arms? If you cannot discover the people that are sponsoring terrorism, it's a systemic failure.
Okay.
The government must be taken for that. For another nation to discover them for us is a shame in the first place. It shows that our system has failed, or there is an insincerity somewhere. Don't we have security organizations that are mandated to gather intelligence, that are being paid on daily basis. They are paid every month. They have their allowance.
Okay. Thank you, Bishop Austin Igbasan.
Money.
Thank you.
For us to say we can't shame the people.
Thank you. You've articulated a point on that.
Is that the government themselves, they are not coming out straight. If they show you this is the man, for you to deal with a sickness, you diagnose it.
Okay,
when you diagnose it, then you prescribe what is going to be used on that particular. You can't be running away from the name of a sickness and you say you are treating it. How do you treat it? When you are running away, I don't want to mention cancer, but we are going to be treating it. Who are you deceiving?
Well, just in case you're just watching TMI is this morning on ITV, and we're discussing with Bishop Austin Igbasan on governance and insecurity. And this to let you know that opinions aired on this show are the opinions of the makers and not of independent television. Well, let's look at this aspect of the headers, the criminal headers, and the challenge where even at September 1, we still have some certain governors not being able to transmit the bill to the Legislative House of Assembly to really deliberate on. Don't you think this is a setback to this passage of the anti-open grazing law?
I think what is happening is that our leaders are politicians. There are so many of them that are not sincere about governance. And I thank God for those governors who have come up to tell us that anti-open grazing law, and they are signing it. I think those who have the experience of what the criminal headers have done should know that the people that are representing their constituency, I mean members of each House of Assembly, must be able to rise to the challenge that we're having, that this is not a bill that should suffer any form of setback. But a lot of people knew the body language of their leader, and they decided to say, who is going to be in the good book? If I tell you now that you will look at the states that are doing anti-open grazing law, they are in the wrong book of the federal government. Except if you want to deceive yourself, we'll go back to right from Governor Tom to Akeredolu and the rest of them. You can see the reaction of the federal government to the stand that those governors are taking in their own domain. And I want to praise their effort. I want to praise those governors that have come out and make this law and been able to enforce it. Ondo State is enforcing it. Lagos State just signed their own into law yesterday, and the governor, in his own wisdom, did that speedily. But I felt that every other places, especially in the south, where you see suffering setback, some persons today, their loyalty is never to the people they govern. Their loyalty is to one man somewhere who they knew that his body language is like, you have to protect the headers, no matter what they are doing. The criminal headers, whatever they are doing is not an issue. It is a must And it is the business of the federal government to make sure that the header is not a private business. It's a business of the government to make sure you give them a soft landing and you take care of them. All of us knew what we are talking about. And I want to give it to those governors who refuse to be the Abuja boys, to be able to stand and say, this is about the security of my people. There is no governor today that is a governor of Abuja. Every governor is supposed to be a governor of his state, and the security of his people should be paramount in the heart of such a leader. So every state where you see anybody foot dragging, it's either somebody is trying to be a senator after some time and he doesn't want to be in the bad book of those who are going to help him tomorrow, or it's going to...
But again, don't you think you are being presumptive? Because
I'm telling you the truth.
Let's look at it logically. There are a lot of governors who also will be looking in this direction of making sure that the issues about insecurity is not worsened in their states. Now, the aspect of the national insecurity we are having at present is making us to almost have a fragile peace. So don't you think it's wisdom on the part of those who really don't want to hurriedly pass that bill into law?
I think it is a wisdom so that their people can be dying. It's a good thing for a governor to allow his people to be murdered in the farm and being killed and raped in the name of trying to please one person and to food drag. Since murder is not a punishable offense in Nigeria again, so those governors that are using wisdom to look at it, that even though if their citizen is being murdered, in as much it's not their junior brother or it's not their in-law, even though the people are killed in the farm and they lose life and they rape people in the farm, in as much it is not their family member, and they needed to satisfy one man who had to sign whatever money will come to their state. And I think that laziness in the side of the governor. If the governors want to put their feet on ground, you don't need to satisfy somebody in Abuja. You need to satisfy the people that voted for you, because it is not Abuja that voted any governor. Every governor of a state is voted by the people in his domain, and I will count it as weakness or insincerity in the side of any governor, especially that have those kind of things happening under his nose, and decided to say we will food drag because somebody is killing your people, and you said you are going to subpedal, you are going to be doing it with wisdom, it's going to take you 200 years to do. I said to people, if you are going to, if you used 10 years to prepare for madness, when are you going to enter market? All of us knew that in every 4 years of every governor, that it is only 2 years that is for real governance, that the other 2 years is meant for politicking. Either you are securing your second term, or you are trying to put a stooge who will take over from you and cover your back when you are out of the power, or you are running as a governor to go and be a senator somewhere, or go and be a vice president somewhere. All of us know that many of the governors are ambitious, and because of their ambition, many of them have not been able to come out to be able to stand in for their people.
Okay.
Indeed, democracy is about the people. It's not about the leader. It's about the people. And because we have decided to put the horse, the cart before the horse, well, leaders now see themselves as emperor, that they don't need the people. They are now a lord over the people. That is what you see most governors do. They are a lord over the people they govern. If they knew that the people have power to set up a protest like NSAS, that they have power to be able to stop the will of governance if it is going wrongly, they won't try what they are doing. Because you cannot tell a man, in my place they said, how do you console a man that tiger killed the mother? Are you going to tell the man that tiger and I killed your mama before? So you have the experience of how tiger used to kill people. Okay. How are you going to console that man? Now, because when you say you are food dragging, somebody lost his wife in the farm and you are food dragging. And how do you bring that life back again when the person is gone? How do you cushion the effect of that in the heart of that person? How do you now, the ripple effect of the negligence of the government to stand in to deal with the issue, and the people see the government fighting for them, the action of people that are victims of this kind of thing.
Okay, let's look at Edo State, which is captured among states that are yet to do this. Are you saying it's an act of weakness on the part of the governor?
Definitely, our governor here have seen all kinds of evil that herdsmen have done. And that's why people like us who supported him are still wondering why we are still food dragging in Edo State. Because people like us who went out to market the governor and go all the place, mobilize people, mobilize churches, and set up prayer network, I'm still surprised why we have not done it in Edo State. Because I can count for you here in Edo State more than 20 issues that had to do with criminal headers where life has been lost. So if we're talking of some of those things that are paramount, I think even to Edo State, it's more paramount what is happening is more paramount than even COVID-19. Because this one is not, COVID-19 can still give you a space to live for a while before you die. But what these guys are doing is that they snuff life out of people, and somebody come from somewhere to invade a place and destroy people. Is it not the people that voted for the governor? Is it the criminal header that voted the governor? So to people like us who stood behind the governor and went all out to make sure that the man is being supported, and we mobilize the people. We are still wondering why he has not done that. I won't come here and be lying, because I'm still wondering why that has not been a paramount something for the governor to be in the front burner. So even these are issues that will make you to set up House of Assembly even in the evening.
Okay, but
because you are having a pressing issue.
But don't you think there are also issues that may still be tackled as a result of the marriage of the governor with the People's Democratic Party?
Philip, the issue is that a man's house is on fire and the man is going for a party in GRA. How do you explain it? Is it that the house of that man is not important? Now, all of us know that when you cross from one party to another, there is going to be alignment. You are going to realign. There is going to be rift. You are going to rearrange that. Everybody should, even the governor, when he was moving from that one party to another, must have emphasized that one. There is not going to be a tea party, because people have their structure on ground, and you are coming, and you are going to be the leader of the party. And don't forget that PDP also is not a mushroom party here. It's a party that gave the governor the support. It's a party that is on ground. Now, if you are going to a party that it is you that want to boost them, it's a different ball game than for a party that is giving you their platform at the 11th hour. Consider the time that the governor came on board for across to PDP. It was at an injury time, like they say in football. It is an injury time. So a lot of things that are supposed to have been harmonized before. We knew that those things would be harmonized. It is after he has won that the court case was there, and they run the case to Supreme Court. After the court case, he has to come back home and look at the House of Assembly and look at the party he has come into to be able to rearrange, looking at all the congresses and all the rest of people that are in position, people that came from with him, from where he's coming from, so that those people will also be given some kind of consideration that they are loyal follower. All of us knew this, but
all of this will take time.
Oh, it will take time, but it is. See, you cannot go to a church or a night vigil if your house is on fire. You have to quench it first. Now, what I'm saying is that the issue of insecurity can even remove the governor from the office. If people overrun the governor cannot sit down in government house. So that is why this issue of insecurity is in the front, is the front burner, is what's supposed to be attended to first. In my place, they said, you cannot blow kata and blow whistle. It is only one you will do. You either blow kata or you blow whistle. You can't blow the two at the same time. So, for opportunity cost is alternative for gun. There are priorities. So, security is priority. The governor today is a governor here because there is security. If there is insecurity, all of us saw the way Governor Ben Otom, Benue state governor, was running. Even with the security, he ran ahead of the security men, because if he's going to wait, say, "Now me be governor," he will go and do it in the mortuary. Okay. He has to run for his life. So that shows you that the issue of security is not something that is going to be second feeder. It should be in the front, but that is the essence of the governance, why the governor is there. Okay. So no party people want to even ask the governor to put security by the left hand, because they knew that for them to even have their own share as a party people who are loyal to him, the state must be secure. If it's not secure, you can't talk of somebody give me chairman so board, make me so person, make me commissioner. Can you be a commissioner where the act of governance is on fire? You cannot be a commissioner. That's why we cannot package it for the governor to say it is because it's settling the issue. Is it the first person to the camp? The governor Ben Otom did the camp at 11th hour, and he did the election. Did he not harmonize the people together? It's about putting the first thing first.
Okay, let's look at some flashpoints, some areas like, for instance, traveling from Benin to the Edo Central, Edo North. You know, what do you make of this? Do you see this as a challenge for the state government, or it should be entirely left in the hands of the federal government to ensure that areas are safe as regards security?
Is it the federal government that United Arab Emirates helped to discover terrorists And they are telling us now that they are not going to shame anybody. They are going to take their time to go through court process that may take 200 years, that may even be when unborn children have become graduates or professor. That is when the matter will end in court. And that we are not entitled to see the face of those people that are using masks and they are destroying our nation. Is it that federal government you are going to wait for as a sitting governor for them to come and sort you out? Now, all those things that are happening in the Edo North, all those areas, it's not a pride for us as Edo indigene, because there are ways by which we know that as a chief security officer of the state, the commissioner of police cannot be controlled by the governor. The director of SSS cannot be sent a message by the governor, except they take permission from the upper chamber. But as a sitting governor, there are things that can be done in your own way. Everybody, this restructuring we are talking in Nigeria, is not going to come from the front door, because those who are there now, they are not, they are enemy of restructuring. But it is a state governor. Look at what other states are doing. They say, oh, we said that people are being killed on daily basis. No state governor, no state, nobody from federal is coming and say, what do we do to that flashpoint? And you now see that when the governor or those state governor said anti-grazing law, you see the reply that the federal government replied that same day, reply, because you can see interest. Where is the interest of the federal government? Is it in the people that be kidnapped and killed, or some set of people who take their car even on the road and they keep people on the road if you are driving and you don't move for them, or those who meet the people in farm and kill them and keep people there and run away? How many people have been sent to jail among those who are doing that in each state? That's why a governor must wake up and look at it. That what is it vigilante? I know the governor have hosted the IG, he has hosted the chief of army staff, he has hosted some crop of security chiefs. But beyond that, I think there are things that our House of Assembly can do in hurry and set up either a kind of security, internal security, that will be a form of intelligence gathering.
Okay, but don't you think funding will be a problem?
Funding of those people. What of the money they are giving the governor every month? The security vote. Is it meant for, what is it meant for? They said security vote. That is the first thing, security. That vote is meant for you to secure. It is not a money that must be kept somewhere. Now, is it when you are overrun, your government is being overrun, and you don't see that in government house, that is when you now be using the security vote? So what is important is that as the security vote is coming for the governor, is to set up in each of these community, we look for people that are sincere. Even some people you call, they are stubborn, they are this. They can be useful in this area. Because in my place there's a parable, they said a bad child also have his own day. Now, all those meetings the governor had with IGP, chief of army staff, they are very good meeting. Very fantastic meeting. But you should also know that PDP is an opposition state. And if you hear what Matawa said when he wants to cross carpet, he said I cross carpet so that the federal government can help me fight insecurity. Now, putting that one in mind, our governor should not be expecting the full dose of federal government to come down to help him fight. Now, we can set up, and it will be a means of creating employment for the TMI youth. Even though if it is those people that supported him during the election, they can be given this assignment to do in each of the ward, in each of the local government. If there are 7 or 10, we buy some vehicle for them. If it's a we buy for them and let them gather intelligence for us. Let the House of Assembly in hurry do a legislation that will back up these guys to be able to do what they needed to do. Right. Now, if they hold somebody in their, they know the terrain, they know the number of people that stay in their area. When a stranger comes in, they will be able to pinpoint the stranger. So these are things you don't wait for Abuja to do.
Okay, let's look at the aspect of Imo State, where the governor Hope Uzodinma did say that, well, they are opting out of their passage on the open grazing law. They are not part of it with the southern or with the other southern governors. What do you make of this development? Because he did say that they have a good relationship with the headsmen in the locality, and they wouldn't need to pass such law. What do you make of this development?
I appreciate Governor Uzodinma. You know, when a man is talking, you look at his foundation. When a number 4 man in an election eventually become the governor, where number 1, number 2, number 3. So do you expect him? In my place, they said, where do you want the loyalty of a fly to go? I don't have saw. Somebody is sitting by my side, he has saw. And the flies go there to suck from the saw of that person.
Now, do you want the loyalty of this or the fly to come to me that didn't have saw, that he can suck? So you expect it? See, Ujodima, after his tenure, he won't be able to start to face his people. Just be watching. All of us are seeing road that they are watching and they are painting. Everybody's there. See, is that what is happening on ground in Imo? In this Imo, they have killed Reverend Father. They have killed people in farm. Are those people his relation? Are those people the people he govern? And he said there is no problem. He doesn't have a problem. And they are all living together in unity and all the rest. That even in Imo, as we are talking now, there is no criminal header. That's what the man who sits there and have security report on the palm of his hand is telling the masses. Is that the true picture of what is happening in Imo? So where do you want the loyalty of this man to go to, for God's sake? When it's from number 4 and he's being made a governor overnight in our very broad daylight. Law students are in university. They are watching those things. It will be a reference point where people like us are grown up and we are gone. People will refer to it that in a state where there's the first person, the second person, the third person, the fourth man, who is number 4, now take over. INEC is there. All of it happening in our broad daylight. Where do you want the loyalty of that man to be? Now, the project he commissioned recently and he brought the president. Do you know what it takes to bring a president to a state? Do you know the money that is involved? The number of security people that will be on ground a week before the governor, the president will come to your state.
Would that not also attract benefits for the state?
It is the benefit. Because the one-day visit of the president has taken everybody from there. Those who are poor now are rich since that visit. And those who are sick in the hospital, they've been healed. The coming of the president have now made all the hospitals there that are not working to be working in 24 hours. You see, there are things that are not essential. All those ones are shown to come out. Now, what do you know the fund that goes into hosting a president? So we are a nation that is wasting resources. In another nation, you will see that the man we call his party leader to commission those projects, and the money that was used to host Mr. President, and the taxpayer money that was used to secure, to make sure that the president is secure there, that money would have gone into building bridges, even ameliorate the pain of some persons that have lost their person in the course of this bombardment that is going on.
Okay.
Why is the bombardment going on in Imo and it's not going out where we have bandits who are taking pictures with governor, with their gun, and they are saying they are not afraid of any state, and nobody has gone there to go and do them anything? What is now the difference of what we are having over there? So the issue of saying, oh, we are in this with the headers. You know, one major thing about Satan is that it pains me a lot. Those who are doing us, they always use the Southerner to do. You hear one statement from a Minister of Petroleum, State for Petroleum. He said we should be excited and should be doing Thanksgiving that we are now getting crude from Niger to come to Nigeria. And that is a man that comes from where people are dying of cancer. People they poo-poo on top of water and shift it and drink it in the midst of this. And a man is coming from there to tell you it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Now, tomorrow, if we are going to talk, they are going to say, it was your brother, not the one who is Minister of Petroleum that time. What did he do for his people? How did he fight for his people? Even when this thing is taken here, give it to a country that is small, our own. And he said we should be appreciative.
Okay.
We're not getting.
Thank you, Bishop Austin Igbasan, for articulating those points raised. And well, it's this morning on ITV, and we're looking at the aspect of the 2023 political intrigues and the gale of the faction. You agree with me that as we gradually push close to the general elections, the tempo is rising to a point where we're going to be having more politicians moving from one party to the other, and a lot of politicians have cross-carpeted for several times, and we seem not to understand what they really are looking for. Now, there is this interest that we may say could be ecocentric or personal interest. Could this be the reason for all of these defections? How are these defections really helping democracy? Is it killing democracy or is it helping it? But again, don't forget that defections is not only peculiar to Nigeria, it's a global phenomenon. But how do we arrest our issues here, most especially as it happens to do with political ideology-based politics that seem to help to promote the tenets of democracy in any polity? Do we have that in Nigeria? Well, still discussing with me on that is the Sword of Liberation Bible Church senior pastor, Bishop Austin Ingbasan, thank you for still being with me.
Thank you, sir.
What's your concern over these defections? Because just recently we have this political bigwig, Fani Kayode, who happens to have been has expressed so much disgust for the ruling party, and a lot of persons were taken aback to see that he was able to swallow those words and went back to the APC. What do you make of this development? Is it helping our democracy?
Indeed, it's not helping our democracy. One major thing I say in different fora everywhere, I told people, I said, God, you see, our country is like a child of a rich man that is a spoiled child. Why I say that is that, I say it everywhere, that Nigeria is like a child of a rich man that is now a spoiled child. The father make everything available for him. That's why you see it is only in Nigeria you will not plant corn. Corn will grow. You will throw away water that you used to demand the woman that is grinding pepper. Before you know, pepper start growing from there. It is not seen in other places. God has blessed us so much. But one area that we have not, God has not given us grace is the area of leadership. That we didn't get it in leadership. That is the problem.
What do you mean God has not given us grace? But we have leaders. Or what do you mean?
We didn't have
we don't have the leadership that will help to turn around events
see,
to the positive light. Is that what you mean?
That is what I'm talking about. That we don't have leaders that are genuine. Now I can't imagine somebody. Do you know how many, Philip? Do you know how many people that are widowers today as a result of somebody sponsoring terrorism?
But if you say that we don't have leaders that are genuine, aren't you presumptive again? Because if we take account, we take a look at where we were, because you clergymen usually say that, well, we should be grateful that we're not where we used to be.
That is how we encourage the people, because that's what the scripture said.
Okay.
We also encourage, because if you tell people in church not to be grateful.
Okay, so if you look at that,
give you an example
if you look at that import, will you say that we are where we were, or we moved away from where we were? Have we not made some achievement or progress?
We have, according to your but what I want to tell you is that, see, in other climb, there are nations that they don't have anything. Come and tell me what UK have as mineral resources. But today you can see that the same country that doesn't have resources, but they have brain, they have leaders who are not parochial. They have leaders who are not sentimental. They are not. They have leaders who are not saying this position must go to my village. Oh, so that when we get to meeting, we'll be speaking our local language. If that man is not, it's not important. If the man is not qualified, let me just put him there. Oh, my people from my village. If you are going to go on retirement, falsify your age, you are still going to be there. No retirement. I give you an example. I can mention to you people who are still sitting in government today who ought to have been retired. And the essence of having a tenure is for other people, other fresh brain to come in, that other career officer can rise from the rank. Because when a man, as you are here now, if you know that there is a prospect for you to become a GM of this place, if you work well, your excitement will be here. You put your best. But if you know that when they want to pick somebody, they go and bring somebody from one village because it's a friend of one person, it will kill your zeal to do the work. Now, coming to the issue of leadership.
Are you saying that's what is affecting our political parties?
That is what is happening. Number one, the issue of ideology is missing there.
Okay.
Now, when you say yellow, you say MTN. And you see, you cannot mistake Glow for MTN.
We don't need to say all of this.
No,
we don't need to give credit to any of this.
I'm just giving example that, okay, both of us are wearing suits now. Yeah. How will people identify that you are the one that is anchoring this program? Two things. Computer is in your front, a laptop is in your front, and yet you are dressed in black suit. So the difference between myself and yourself is so clear. If somebody says he didn't know the difference between me and you because I'm attacking you now, you give a question, you try to moderate me. So if somebody says he's listening to us and he doesn't know who is anchoring the program, then you know that the person needs to go for a psychiatric checkup. Now, what I'm saying is that we are not really gifted to have sincere leaders who we face situation. I've given you points just now. I can mention the issue of corruption one by one. Have you listened to that of Nimasa recently? We are talking of NPA. We have not sorted that one out. Somebody is on suspension, and that suspension have been the end of the matter. Now, how many do we mention? Now, how do you show to people that you are a man that does not condone corruption? If it comes from your junior brother, you let the law take its course
and let it run and run fast and let the person be shown, it will be a deterrent to others. But when it happens around me, we cushion it. Somebody is to be extradited. We are setting a committee left and right when we know what is happening.
Okay, are you saying that there should have been electoral reforms to correct this
aspect
of
and also our people
unscrupulous movement from one party to another?
Yes, they have also looked. You see that if election is going to come up in the state now, the first thing that will happen is that INEC office will be on fire. You check it out. It's either flood, enter INEC office, card reader have gone. Our politicians have designed a way of also making sure that the process does not work. Now, the issue is that we must have leaders that are sincere to be able to say, this is it, no matter whose horse is God. Now, I don't care. We are moving from one party to another. It has become a pattern. And you see a political, a party man will tell you, I'm a sinner, I've come back to my, the prodigal son have returned to his house. The statement of politician does not really matter.
Okay.
That is why you see that when they say something during campaign, they say other things when they get to power.
Okay.
All the people you see that are humble during campaign, you see all of them bringing policies that can destroy life. They don't care. They say go and jump inside the river. If you cannot bear it, you are going to stay there till 4 years. If really they knew that the power belonged to the people, and the people really knew the power they own, they won't welcome somebody defected. All the things the man has said, he has swallowed it. Even yesterday, FFK said he has Fulani blood in his vein. Maybe tomorrow, when he leaves that Fulani man is out of the power, maybe it is an Ishekiri man. Tomorrow he will have the Ishekiri man's blood in it. This is the kind of country we have. We are the leaders, we are people in the front that you need to see as role model.
Okay, but again, he also said that he defected in order to bring about more unity in the country.
But he supported
Would you want to play with that?
For Yoruba nation. He supported Nnamdi Kanu for Biafra nation.
But now that he's tracing himself to the party, don't you think that will augur well for the country in terms of the unity of the country?
I don't know what you mean by augur well for country. People are talking of unity. You talk about unity. Me, I'm the leader of a nation. Now, there are 3 tribes in that nation. I put all the juices in the hand of one person, one major tribe, and you are talking of unity. Something happened to one person, we are sending a fight jet to go and bring the person back to our country. It happened to another person in my own tribe, and they are setting committee for that person that ought to be extradited. Now you don't want to call that one a unity. Whatever FFK, I love him, but that step he took is entitled to his own decision. But to me, I saw it as a betrayal. Especially to the people you are supported before. If you are supporting a cause and you don't want to support it, you will definitely come out. And first, there are steps you take instead of saying, must he come to APC before you support the unity of Nigeria?
Okay, as we wrap this segment, let's look at the need to promote and grow political ideologies in political parties in Nigeria. What are your points in doing this?
The question is that we have political illiterates who felt that politicking is all about, I want to become a chairman. And what is the grooming process in Nigeria today? That we don't have system that groom politicians. There is no, if somebody is going to be appointed or elected as a member of House of Assembly, it will take him 1 year to learn the curve. And there is no place where politicians are groomed, are trained. Okay. So everybody that is in business, if you want to secure your business, just bring the money of your business and enter politics. So when you get there, people call you honorable member. Even when they are sitting down in the House of Assembly, you can be sleepy because you are not used to what is happening there. It will take you almost 1 year. And that 1 year in itself is a loss to the nation that elected you as a novice in that place. Now, we don't have a grooming system. You see somebody who have not been a local government chairman, just become a governor. How do you expect that person not to misbehave? Because number one, the person has never passed through. Ask how many people that are in power today. How many of them started from their ward? How many of them in their own local government, in the front of their father's house, that they have been able to affect people from the local level of politicking?
Okay, but again, we have this in school curriculums, which is being engendered in school curriculums, like even the study on political science, for instance. Isn't this supposed to be strengthened now, in order to bring about a better ideology base for the parties?
Party must design what they want. And if you look at all the parties we are talking about now, all of them have shifted from the founding fathers, the vision of the founding father.
Okay.
Check all the parties we are talking about, especially the reigning parties. You see that all of them there is a shift.
They've lost the features.
Yes. So that shows you that even the mindset of those who set up that organ has been eroded away by the people that came on board. I give you an example. When a president or when a governor crosses to a party, automatically it takes over the party. Not even though if the man didn't believe in the idea of the party. Now that single one man now become, he dictates what happens there. Because to me, I'm one of those people that champion that if somebody is a president, he should not be a leader of his party. We look at the time of MPN, where Chief Adisa Akinloye was chairman of MPN. And you see, even the president there listened to him. But today you see, when a president is the leader of the party, you are giving so much absolute power, corrupt absolutely. You are giving so much power, it determines what happens to the word of the party. And now look at it, the person you bring on board today, I'll give you an example. Our president is from CPC, and they came together to form a party. Today is the leader of the party. If you look at the problem of APC today, the CPC people are domineering to the ACN people that come.
Okay.
And the sharing formula that was, you people handle governance, let us handle party. But the CPC people now have crossed over to take both the governance and the party. That is the rift you are seeing in APC itself now. That those people say, we are the one that galvanize what you used to win. We gave you the effort from the southwest. Now you are in power, you are in everything, and you are also in party. And you see today, I give you an example. Mala Buni is a Southerner, is the head of APC today. President is a Southerner, is a Northerner. Both the party and the government is being run by Northerner, which is supposed to be our own slot here in the days of former Governor Adam Soshomole. But you know, we Southerner, we know how to play our card and become a puppet for the North. And you see that for the past going above 1 year now, a Northerner man have been enjoying the slot of a Southerner as a chairman of the party and also as a governor of a state. Okay. So you see that the Southerner has lost out in the whole event because they created the problem that the former chairman had. So that two Southerners fight, they fought and fought and fought until the Northerner came over.
Thank you. You've articulated your point. Big thanks, Bishop Austin Igbasan, for taking our time to be part of this show.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for the points you've raised.
Thank you.
Well, he happens to enjoy the floor being the discussant we're having on this segment. And don't forget that the opinion raised by discussant is the opinion of the discussant and not that of independent television.